Hello, today we'll show you how you can gain insights from IoT and industrial data using Splunk. Where we are right now is the start of Insight in Splunk, the Google-like search page. The first step of operational intelligence is search and investigate. Let us see how that works. The first thing you need to know is that Splunk is a real-time operational intelligence platform at big data scale. Splunk starts small and scales horizontally. Our largest customers are indexing and analyzing hundreds of terabytes of data on a daily basis. Source type is a very important classification of machine data in Splunk, as it suggests to Splunk the format and sometimes content of the machine data. Some source types can be completely unstructured, some semi-structured, like key value pairs, JSON or CSV, and others completely unstructured. Let's dig a little deeper. Every machine data in Splunk is timestamped before it is put into the index. All searches and analytics are based on a range of time. That range could be all time, like you see here, a rolling real-time window like 15 minutes ago until now, or a finite window like previous 15 minutes. We note that we have got some timestamps in the future, but that makes sense because these cars are in Europe. Splunk handles complex considerations of time and time zones quite well. What you see here is a histogram of events that have been generated by the vehicles today. Let's take a closer look at all the actual events. This is a lot of data, but not a lot of information. Here you see that the Splunk search app is already summarizing the data that's included in these events. Splunk has already summarized the value for the battery level attribute. Now let's look at the door open attribute. Now let's look at the data from the periods of time when the doors were open. You will see again that the search app has automatically set an additional filter for us. Let's look at the vehicle speed for the times when this door was open. I can see that most of these speeds are 0 or close to 0, but in a couple of instances it seems that the door was open when the vehicle speed was close to 11 kilometers per hour. That seems really high. Okay, so this looks like to be an issue related to one vehicle only. Let's modify our search to see if there is something more systematic here. What I'm really interested in knowing is about this when it happens in the future. I can easily set this up as an alert. My guess is that this is a mechanical issue that might be related to the door latch sensor, and I'd like to have my technicians take a look at these two vehicles below. Splunk automatically create a work order for a technician to address this issue on a specific vehicle as well. Now, what if I'm interested in figuring out how my fleet is driving overall? That's very simple to do with search commands with Splunk. And with a few clicks, I was able to generate a view that gives me an insight into the overall performance of my fleet. I can easily visualize this information, and if I would like, I can save this information as a dashboard panel and share this with other members in my organization. What if I was a user who was not interested in leveraging the power of Splunk's search processing language to gain insights from this data? Once we know many of the questions that we want to ask of our data, we can build some pretty impressive packaged operational visibility applications from right within Splunk. Using our web framework, which is built right into Splunk, and some HTML and JavaScript, we've already built an app which really shows the power of Splunk as a platform. The first dashboard we are looking at is a great overview of how our fleet of vehicles is operating. We can look at the metrics and key performance indicators of any period of time. But rather than all the time, let's take a look at the last few hours. Notice the KPI titles at the top. These are produced automatically by the underlying data. So only the vehicles that are on the road today are reflected. This is especially valuable when you may be using Splunk to manage a fleet of hundreds of vehicles rather than just 10. The KPI we have selected to demonstrate for each vehicle is average battery charge, but this could be anything from max speed to some revenue metric for real-time business insights. Below we see some histograms of other key performance indicators from number of trips to cost of operations. I want to drill deeper into one of these cars. Note that because Splunk is a time series index, the sequence of events is really easy within Splunk. Here we are showing a dashboard that is capturing the key performance indicators from the specific vehicles and showing it to me in a dashboard format. Let's look at this information in a different format. Remember those doors opening? What if we want to see the occurrence of those and could be correlated with some other features like geography? Here you can clearly see where the doors are opening. Up here in the top middle, that's the garage where drivers entered and exited the cars quite frequently. And that bright yellow spot at the lower left, well, that's a pizza place. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the demonstration.